So my name is DH50. I am playing my Dimir Emerge deck. What I believe is the final version of this deck. Still might need a change. I'm undecided about a small part of it, but this deck is very, very fun. I got the deck idea from Xeris, who posted a very strong list on No Goblins Allowed. I made a few changes to it myself, and what I think has created a better deck, but still probably has a little bit of room for improvement, but is very, very fun. My biggest question mark is whether or not I should have a mountain in the deck, because if the deck plays Kozilek's Return, having a mountain in the deck allows me to hard cast it from my hand instead of casting it from my graveyard. I'm back and forth on that question, because putting a mountain in my deck means that I am slightly less likely to draw the island that it replaced. I've had two negative experiences with this. One is playtesting with a mountain in my deck. I once drew the mountain instead of an island. I lost the game because I needed an island to be able to cast compelling deterrence. The flip side of that is I had a game, the sole game where I've had both Kozilek's Return in my hand and had Evolving Wilds in my hand. I was playing against an aggro deck. I was not able to cast Kozilek's Return out of my hand because actually, I'm going to get that island now. I need that mountain now since I have my mana. I was not able to cast Kozilek's Return out of my hand because I was not able to fetch the mountain, and I lost the game to an aggro deck that I definitely would have at least survived several more turns, because I would have wiped the board had the right card been in the game. So I just cast Whispers of Imreckle. That card is... I love that card. I don't care about Delirium. This deck is very, very easy to activate Delirium, but if I have it in my opening hand, I will always cast it just on the off chance that it disrupts them, which it generally, historically, has been very successful at disrupting my opponent. Yeah, I don't actually care about that at all. Okay. If he doesn't remove... Oh, look at that. If he doesn't remove this fellow, then I will have my way with his hand, and then I will cast Whispers of Imreckle on whatever is left. I like this deck a lot. I had been really trying for a long time to create a competitive discard deck, and I couldn't. I had a lot of issues doing that. I in fact went from rank 40 to rank 20 in a single day, and because I was playing this discard deck. I'm not going to attack here in case he blocks, in which case I wouldn't be able to emerge, and I really do want to take care of this hand. I won't take care of that guy. I don't care about the Titan Strength. Obviously he can come in. I might even block if he takes care of that Titan Strength. Realistically, I probably won't. I'd rather just hit his hand. Go ahead and you cast your mountain. Which means you've got a Titan Strength and you attack. Oh, no, you want to save that Titan Strength, except I don't have Delirium now. Interesting. That's okay, because I'll just kill that little bastard. One awesome thing about this deck too is that it really doesn't need more than 5 lands. It certainly doesn't need more than 6 lands. There's an argument for 5 lands. Now I have Delirium, and you no longer have a Titan Strength and whatever else you're doing. Oh, mountain. Okay. Hey. So situation like this isn't that infrequent with this deck. It's actually kind of amazing. Where you just reduce your opponent to top decking, you get card advantage despite the fact of many discard creatures. That many creatures I resurrect out of my graveyard with by discarding cards, I still usually am able to maintain card advantage. What is that? Has anybody ever heard of this card? I certainly haven't. Tap target non-human creature. I think what's more likely to happen here, buddy, is I'm attacking you. That's what's happening. So like, I'll probably just keep this land in my hand because I really don't need more than 5. Well, I do need double blue actually, so I will play this card. But I'll wipe your board first. Yeah, so this was not a very competitive game. Part of that is just like, I think that my opponent is playing what appears to be a god-awful deck. You know, with all due respect, it really looks bad. I've never even heard of these cards, which is great. I'm not, no judgment. I really like, in fact, really like creativity. I play bad decks all the time. I entered into the Steam tournament with what is arguably the worst deck ever constructed, which, you know, I did it because I had a good idea at the time. It didn't really pan out, and I didn't really have time to adequately test it. I tested it for like an hour. It seemed okay, but I knew it was going to be, you know, its worst absolute matchup was Mill, and I had no chance of beating that. But against like a lot of the control decks I was playing against on Steam, it was actually fairly successful. In the first matchup that I had against Step Up, I lost pretty badly, but it was because Step Up's deck was not really a control deck. It was like just it deployed so many threats, and my deck was incapable of responding to it. Second matchup I had, I don't remember who it was against, but it was against Mill, which was basically like an auto loss, which is fine. This deck, Dimir Emerge, utterly destroys Mill. I've played the Mill matchup 9 times, and I am 8-1 against it. And the 9th time, I can't believe I lost. I mean, I can believe I lost. I had a very slow start. I didn't really get my engine going until I had 30 cards left in my deck. But once that engine started, he went from 20 life to 2 life, and on my last turn, I was down to 2 cards in my graveyard. I kept on bouncing the Sphinx's Tutelage, and my opponent played Vessel of Ameria, which allows you to sacrifice an enchantment to mill your target opponent by 3, which is interesting. That's the first time I've ever seen that card played, and it was his very last play, and he took care of my last 2 cards. So it's, more power to him, or her. But, I find that a little absurd. But at the same time, I had the world's slowest start. I didn't have a play until turn 4. I had a mana problem. I didn't have my second swamp, which generally means if you don't get 2 swamps with this deck, you probably lose. So like maybe the mana issue needs to be corrected. Arguably that stupid mountain in my deck really should be a swamp and not an island. But there's also variance. I've had many games where I've had way too many swamps, so who knows? It's really not this hand though. Or that hand. Okay, or that hand, but just to have a play. So one change I made in this deck too, which wasn't the greatest, potentially it was horrible in fact, was Xeris' version was at 25 lands. I removed it to 24 or decreased it to 24 to make room for the second Whispers. Now, the second Whispers of Emrakul has been invaluable. I've won so many games based off of casting Whispers of Emrakul. So, and I haven't actually, I've lost very few games due to not having the right mana. I've lost a couple, but very few. It's because, like I said, this deck really only needs 5 mana to perform. So like right now I have 5 mana, which means I'm probably good. You know, most games that I win, I don't really have more than 5 mana. I'll occasionally have 6, but it's pretty rare for me to have more than that, because usually I'll keep all the extra mana in my hand so that I can use it to move creatures out of my graveyard. So mana flood with this deck is not really a thing, because if you get mana flooded, you can use that extra mana to just discard to bring creatures back, assuming you have creatures in your graveyard. Okay, I'm going to kill you, because nobody likes Tireless Tracker. Everybody's tired of that guy. Now, I don't really want to. I don't want to swing in because I'm against a Planeswalker deck, it looks like, and that's a Planeswalker deck stuck on 3 mana. So, nobody likes you either, buddy. Okay. At some point, you gotta start attacking, I think. It's probably a mistake. I bet this guy has turn 4 plays. I bet I lose this game because I just attacked right there. Mistakes were made. I don't think I can cast this guy. No, I definitely can't cast that guy. Need more mana. Oh, great. Great. Yep, mistakes were made. Probably lost this game. That's okay. Alright. Murder. Murder available to me. I'm going to attack in. Compelling Deterrence or Whispers of Emrakul. And I got both, which means I should be taking both. Now, I have 4 in the graveyard, but I really don't like that. So it's going back to your hand. And you're discarding something. Or you're apparently pausing the game and griefing it somehow. Or stainlesses, but I find like a lot of the time I make plays that my opponent doesn't like, and then the game really pauses for a long, long time. This might be one of those times. We'll see. See whether or not Ripe Lincoln is an honorable player. Circumstances would suggest they are not. Well, maybe they are. Maybe I'm just being unfair. I probably am being unfair. So, Ripe Lincoln, if you are listening, I apologize. Now, I am going, I could have, like I said, I only really need 5, but because I have the Drownyard Behemoth in my hand, which requires 1 more cost for Emerge, I decided I'm going to play 6. I don't think I need any more mana ever, though. So, nobody likes Arlen Cord. Alright, so what am I going to do? I'm going to first attack your hand. Ooh, look at that. First thing is to just get rid of some cards you might have. Both good things. Second thing is to put some pressure on Arlen Cord, the werewolf. Now I can't cast this because of the 8 casting cost and I've only got 7. I can do that. I think I will because I want Whispers again. And Arlen can kill that thing anyway. Whispers versus Compelling Deterrence, I don't know, but against a Planeswalker deck, Whispers is pretty powerful. See, one thing I don't have right now is like fodder in my hand, but at the same time, Mr. Ripe Lincoln over here is stuck on 4 mana. Mr. Ripe Lincoln is about to lose half of his hand, and is about to lose Arlen Cord. Ooh, but you did kill my little dude, so there's that. All right. This will be good for killing those little stupid tokens. This will be good for emptying your hand. And I can cast the Drownyard Behemoth. So. And potentially I can get another Vexing Scuttler out of the graveyard after this sucker dies. So now you have 5 mana. Apparently you made some mistakes here. But see, yeah, okay, so Mr. Ripe Lincoln wasn't happy about that mistake. He wanted that thing gone. What he didn't realize is the Drownyard Behemoth would have ended his creature. That's why this sucker's in the deck. Is that because even on 1 mana, it takes the opponent by surprise. One mana as long as I have an Emerge creature out. And it's flash, so you know, you just, if you were watching this, you just saw like, the reason why this creature's here. Just had my opponent tapped correctly, he would have been like, oh no, and then also would have quit. So that's fine. Do I want to do anything? I do not. See, this is another instance where I don't really want to swing in because you're stuck on 4 mana. What I do want is to wreck your hand, and I want to... No, I don't care about swinging in because we were stuck. Oh, look at that! You had 2 cards. I mean, maybe you're not a Planeswalker deck. Maybe you're just a bad deck. I think that's what you are, but just fine. So this, 2 videos, 2 games, maybe not against the most competitive decks. I assumed you were a Planeswalker deck, but just because there's so many that start out with that lead, and they're almost always Planeswalkers, but... okay. Well, we do get to see this. Come get some. Now, I thought the AI could see my hand. Maybe they can't. But... so it does surprise me that AI would do this, but that's the reason. Surprise combat trick, you lose a creature, I get a 5/7, basically constitutes removal. Okay, this game is actually not over, which is annoying. But so I'm not going to play this, I'm just going to discard this. I'm going to take an inventory into the graveyard to get some dudes back. You get Ulamog, I guess? Hooray. Ulamog cast with 5 mana. Arg. Okay. So that's annoying because it skips to the instep, which means that I don't get prized amalgam until my instepped. The goal is to, once they move to the attack phase, to pause the game and put your person back on the field, because then you get prized amalgam at instep. So even if they kill your guy, it's all good. But because I didn't need to do that, I could have just swung in with the token. But here's game 2. I think I'll do one more game. This deck is decent, it's fun, isn't always the most competitive, doesn't always function the way that it did these last 2 games, and these 2 games are not especially representative of this deck because, like I said, I don't think my opponent's decks were very good. I think they're quite poor, in fact. So maybe I'll have a more competitive game. Maybe it'll be a game that I lose. I kind of hope I play against Mill. That's actually the most fun matchup with this deck, because I've been able to like regularly dominate that deck, and I hate Mill decks. Or I hate playing against Mill decks. Okay, Clan at 13, rank 12. That's weird. Might be the lowest rank person I've played on Steam, and since I was ranked 12. Not the best hand, but I'm a sucker for Whispers of Emrakul, so it's what you might call a personality flaw. And it probably means I'm going to lose to rank 12, except, well, it probably means I'm going to lose to the rank 12 AI, which is great. But hey, at least I have a 9 casting cost Emerge creature in my hand, because that's going to go well. Maybe they'll make me discard something, and I can discard that little dude. Then I'd be in business. Maybe I can draw another land, because with Oath of Jace, that would put me in business. That was a pretty good hit with Whispers. Why did my opponent quit? You weren't mana screwed? You had a board wipe? Seems like you could have played for days. Alright, I'm getting an island because I do need 2 islands from time to time, but most importantly with this bad boy. It's a weird deck. Why would a 4-color deck play Catalog? Because it's a control deck. My deck has done pretty well against control decks. It's like even not bad against counterspells, simply because you go away and you go away. Because of cards like that in the graveyard. Wow. AI is going crazy with these draws. I should have another Whispers. I should not have put both of those in the graveyard, by the way. That was a clear mistake. Alright, great. Maybe not as much of a mistake as it appeared. So I can bounce him, cause him to discard all of that in his hand. I think it's pretty clear I do not need a Languish in this matchup, and realistically, I probably don't need a Murder, and if I do, I'll get it back with Vexing Scuddler. And you have to cast Jace again. So these are not the most representative games, but I like sending Jace back to your hand. That part's awesome. I don't know why you would play that card, but okay. Ooh, nice. Oh, I wish I had another mana. That would be great. I don't want to play Lily here, but I'm not going to. Again, might be a character flaw, but I'm glad I discarded that. Oh my gosh, I am against what is this, a 4-color mill deck? It's 4-color mill control. Do I not have more land? Maybe it's the 24 versus 25 land. I'm gonna play it really. If you're listening, you can hear my cats in the background. They're not happy about this mill deck. Neither am I. That's probably the right call on that guy's part. Not sure that I should have cast Lily last turn. Oh, great. Great. Okay. Finally, I got 5 mana. I really need much more than that, but having 5 is pretty important. I really like Jace there. In fact, I'm finding Jace very annoying. I want to kill him. Wow, this AI is going crazy. Displacement Wave, this card I don't really see very much. Okay, so if I cast Lily, then I cannot cast Elder Deep Fiend. Kinda think Elder Deep Fiend is the better call here. Like, Lily becomes a target, but she's not that important in my deck. I have no reason for tapping Jace there except for I like tapping Jace for no reason. Okay, finally, the tyranny of Jace is gone. I should have cast Elder Deep Fiend in response. Moron. Hero cast Lily. Decrease the threat on that sucker and then bring my zombie back when that guy attacks. Actually, I won't because I don't actually care about Lily's ultimate. this an awakened deck? I don't get it. It's like a mill deck to me, but could be wrong. In any case, draw nerd Behemoth will save the day here. Ooh. Yes, I would like that. I'd rather keep Lowood alive in this context. Oh. Alright. It's a situation of a little bit too much emerge, and that's okay. I still have Elder Deep Pain, and I can. Not sure I need Distended Mindbender, or I would like to cast it. See what. Oh my gosh. Okay. Really? Okay. That's fine. It's actually perfect. Two displacement waves. Get this deck. Okay. Yeah, we're not doing that. Yeah, that's fine. This deck is like weirdly annoying. I mean, I guess it's not weirdly annoying, it's just annoying. I guess that's what I get for playing a rank 12. Hey, look at that. I can hardcast that if I ever wanted to, which I don't. Alright, I want this game to end. This is obnoxious. I should have just used Distended Mindbender. I am going to Distended Mindbender. Oh, there we go. It is a mill deck. It's just of course, the deck is really obnoxious. And yes, obviously it's a mill deck. Alright. Come get Lily. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Whereas I could have used the Mindbender this turn if I hadn't hard cast this. I guess I technically can use the Mindbender still. Maybe should. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I don't trust what's in your hand. Okay, catalog. Draws you cards. Biting Rain. There's no. Oh, that makes me foolish. Obviously. Why did I make a mistake? This game has gone on for so long, it is so boring. It's alright. I don't really like playing against Mill. Don't mind playing Mill, it can be fun. Playing against it, definitively not fun. But it does look like I finally won this game. I mean, just all it is bounce. Do they even have a kill spell? I guess regular flames. Why is 4 color metal? This is bad. I made a couple mistakes that drug this out. Okay, well I think that's it. If you watched this, I hope you enjoyed it.